God. So we will have opening prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Now in this, in for Srimad Bhagavatam, usually in ISKCON as a practice, we have called Mangal Charan. That is kind of an opening prayer before before the Bhagavatam classes do start. So we will just have a look at it, and every time before Bhagavatam, preferably we will try to read this. So some people may just recite 2 of these verses, some do recite 3 of the verses, some recite some additional verses, so which is perfectly fine. There is no hard and fast rule to it. But as a practice in ISKCON, we usually say around 3 verses. So 2 are on this page, 2 on the next page. So we will just go through them. Narayanam. Before we start, we usually say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya thrice, and after that we start with the opening prayers, Mangala Charan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Kamal Prabhu, would you like to recite and also read the translation? Harishna Kamal Prabhu. Okay. Pooja, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Prabhu. Okay. So, Prabhu, can you take the first verse and the translation?
Yes, Prabhu. Narayanam namaskratya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Nar Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasdev, the author.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu. Shrinvatam, these are all from Srimad Bhagavatam, these different verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Shrinvatam Swakataha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Radhay Antasto Abhadrani Vidunoti Shruta Satam. Pooja, would you like to take the second verse and the translation?
Yes. Should I read only translation or should I?
You can take the verse also, verse and translation.
Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hrudayi Antasto hi Abhadrani Vibunoti Suhrut Satam. Shri Krishna, translation by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, Super Soul, in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Very good.
Thank you. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी. Richa or Rohit, can someone take up this?
Yes. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
Hari Bol. Thank you. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Mamta Mataji, can you take this verse and translation?
Yeah, Prabhu. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudev, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Vrindavana, and the enlivener of the cows and senses.
Hari
Srimad
Bol.
Bhagavatam 1.8.21. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So these are the slokas. Usually, what I say is I do the first one, then I do the third one, and I do the fourth one. So usually, in Damodash, if I may say, second one is not usually recited in the Mangajan, but it actually technically doesn't matter. There is no hard and fast rule. These are basically glorifications. These are the verses which glorify Bhagavatam. So if you feel 1, 2, and then 4, perfectly fine. If you say just 1 and Om Ajnana Timrananda, so perfectly fine. It actually doesn't matter. So basically, depending on which place you are, you can take a call. But we will take all the 4 verses in our all the Bhagavatam sessions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
How does it matter with the place, Prabhu?
A place in the sense, Mataji, what just like in Damodar, we have 1, 3, and 4. So if you know Damodar and you know that they say 1, 3, and 4, it is, or you practice over there, then we can just be one of them. That's all. It actually doesn't matter with the place. What I meant to say is basically where you are preaching for a longer time, and if you know that these are the verses they say, just to keep uniformity, we can just stick to those verses. That's all.
Okay, Prabhu.
Not clear, Mataji.
Yeah, because I didn't know this fact.
Okay. So these are there is no, I mean, Prabhupada has not mandated
But
the way if you
like in Dubai, we only recite verses only.
Yes, in some other in Chowpatty, no, yeah, in Chowpatty ISKCON, or I say Gauranga Prabhu and all, I have seen they reciting same as what we do in Damodar Desh, 1, 3, and 4 verse. But in some other places, even on website, if you search for it, you would find 1, 2, and 3. In some places, you will find 1, 2, and 4. So actually, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you are going somewhere for a lecture one time, it's up to you. What you say. My only say was, if you're in particular place for a longer time, we can just adapt to what they practice, so that we don't create confusion. That's all, and nothing else. It is nothing to do with a hard and fast rule.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
Hari Bol, Mataji. So can I request Rohit Prabhu to chant for 27 times? Hare Krishna, Rohit.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Rohit. Would you be able to chant for 27 times?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Rohit.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. So with blessings of Lord Ganesha, Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas, we will start with Bhagavatam today. Ganpati Bappa Moria. So Srimad Bhagavatam, basically, if you see first chapter, the first 3 verses, they act as a prelude to Srimad Bhagavatam. So they're kind of a short introduction to the complete Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence. Then there is setting of the scene. We have in Naimisharanya, there is a place Naimisharanya, which is also considered to be the center of the universe. So this Naimisharanya, that's why it is kind of more religious and more holy place. All the sages, thousands of sages assembled over there. And that is when Sutta Goswami came over there. They gave Sutta Goswami the appropriate position, and then the narration of Srimad Bhagavatam started. So we have Sutta Goswami and we have Sukadev Goswami. So usually I used to be troubled with these two names. So Sukha means parrot. Just remember that. And it is said that Sukadev Goswami, as the name of parrot, was also the parrot of Radharani in the spiritual world, or is also parrot of Radharani in the parrot. That is what being believed. So hence the name Sukadev Goswami. So he narrated Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, and Sutta Goswami happened to be present in that assembly. And during that time, it was not like the condition of the people in Kali Yuga, where even if we repeat something 10 times, we won't be able to understand it. Remember that. During those days, they were so pure and so qualified that just by hearing once, they understood and they could memorize everything. Sutta Goswami, after just hearing once from Sukadev Goswami, when he went to Naimisharanya, all the sages, Shaunaka Rishi was the head of the sages, he then welcomed him, and he was eager because they were going to do some yajna, big yajna for the people of Kali Yuga. So this is what the devotees of the Lord are. They always think for the benefit of others. So when they saw him, they welcomed him, and they were eager to know about the different scriptures. So one of them was Srimad Bhagavatam. If you see other Puran like Shiva Puran and other Puran, it also happens to be the conversation between Shaunaka Rishi and Sutadev Goswami. So yeah, Trisha, Pooja, you want to share something? Okay.
No.
Okay. So it also happens with the discussion. So what we can understand probably is when Sutta Goswami came over there, he narrated the major Puran, at least the major Puranas over there, and that was being written by Vyasdev. So Vyasdev had all this knowledge with him, but it is that Vyasdev said Srimad Bhagavatam to Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami, when he narrated to Parikshit Maharaj, Sutta Goswami was over there, and then Sutta Goswami narrated to Shaunaka Rishi. So this is how it happened. But just to keep it in a very interesting way, Vyasdev did not just put the philosophy into it. So he just to keep it interesting and to have that natya pradarshan, so a dramatical format, theatrical format, he instead preferred to write what Sutta Goswami told to the sages, and also that those narrations in Sutta Goswami was more of an essence. Because in Kali Yuga, if we actually go to say Srimad Bhagavatam, which is said to be around more than 1 crore verses, and which is with Brahmaloka, I mean, it is technically not possible for us. So it was kind of a saransh of the complete essence of Srimad Bhagavatam in 18,000 verses that was being narrated by Sutta Goswami to the sages of Naimisharanya. So this is a scene, setting of the scene, 4 to 5 verse. Now 6 to 8 verse. Now since we will be listening from Sutta Goswami, whenever we listen from someone, we need to understand who the person is. Like Srila Prabhupada says, the knowledge has to come from a bona fide spiritual master. Bona fide means he should be in a bona fide parampara first, that comes directly from Krishna. And secondly, he should speak in line with Shastras. So these are the two qualifications. So usually Prabhupada says this, and this is something we should always remember. If we probably due to some reasons end up attending some session which is outside of ISKCON, then we need to understand, is there something that I should really be kind of memorizing it, putting it down on my paper, or no? So these are the two things. One, is he speaking as per Shastra? And two, does he follow some authorized parampara, authorized Vaishnava parampara for Srimad Bhagavatam? So other than that, during those days, the people who narrated also, they were their personal qualifications, like the way we have a resume CV, their personal qualifications also were to be gauged, which unfortunately we cannot do it now because it is not possible to figure that out. But during that time, it was such sages who were very highly qualified by the word of mouth. They were kind of popular across the world, and hence what exactly qualification this speaker has, so that we have that faith in the speaker, is established in this verse 6, 7, and 8. And then for the rest of the chapter, we have the questions that are being asked by six questions that are being asked by sages. So that hence the name of the chapter is the 6 questions by the sages. So these are the 6 questions that are being asked. So any question till now? Okay, Jay. So if you see all the Puranas and even Shiv Puran, I am talking about Shiv Puran and Devi Puran because I have just a couple of pages I have read through it, so I'm aware of it. So even Shiv Puran, Devi Puran, and I believe in all of the Puran, there is question answer. So there are some questions that is being asked by one party, and accordingly the responses that are being said by the preacher in question for the particular Purana, and then that is been compiled by Vyasdev. So here in this, there are 6 questions that are being asked by the sages and the answers by Sutta Goswami. So these questions determine what is that in store for me from this Purana. The responses and questions, they decide, I mean, they can give you an insight whether this Purana falls into Sattvic, Tamasic, or Rajasic. So there are 18 major Puranas, of which 6 are said to be Sattvic, 6 are said to be Rajasic, and 6 are said to be Tamasic. It is because these Puranas target those kind of people. So people who are more Rajasic or Tamasic, they get more attracted to the Tamasic and Rajasic Puranas. People who are with Sattvic nature, they get attracted more to the Sattvic Puranas. And Srimad Bhagavatam happens to be Sattvic Puran and is considered to be the topmost of all the Puranas. So we will. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam is. So we will now jump into the verses. Kamal Prabhu, would you like to take up this slide? So what we have done is we will be reading Srimad Bhagavatam as a story, so that we don't lose connectivity, and then we discuss on anything that we want to discuss, or on key verses. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 1.1. O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of creation, sustenance, and destruction of manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the greatest sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universe, temporarily manifested by the reaction of three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from illusionary representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is absolute truth, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavad Puran propound the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of for all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasdev in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for good God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hear the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Jai Jai. So Prabhu, you want to pick up a couple of key important things which you felt from this page, from these two couple of verses?
Yes, Prabhu. I mean, many actually. One thing is here, you know, one point is that it is completely rejecting all religious activities, which means, which was basically, as they say that Vedas is more was focusing on what Vedas were focusing on more on
Karma Kanda.
holistic and all these things. Yeah. So this thing actually is completely transforming that part. So Bhagavatam itself, there is no what I say, you know, no nonsense in the sense. So they are completely rejecting all these things, though everything is a part of it, is somewhere in the whole pyramid it fits in, but it is completely rejecting only the topmost thing he's talking about. Second is Vyasdev has done this in his maturity, and ultimately we also know that he's also the compiler of Vedas, which means that he know each and every single thing in Vedas, but he is focusing only on what is the most important thing, and that is what is told to him by Naradji when he was feeling very bad before he was actually getting on to the uh, just trying for understanding what is going on with him. So he guided him to write it. So that is what is shown here, that it is at his mature stage, and that is why Bhagavatam is always said that it is the nectar of all the greatest books out there, and this is the best path. Third, Prabhu, is that for God realization, we need not search here and there. This book, Srimad Bhagavatam, is sufficient in itself for for achieving the highest activity and highest thing which is possible for one to achieve, that is bhakti, and that is the realization, and that is the love for God. So this itself is sufficient. So there is no need for reading all the various types of Puranas, all the various types of scriptures, and and then again falling in that area where people start to feel that there are so many contradictions. So yeah, this itself is sufficient for one to realize Krishna. This is it, Prabhu. I mean,
Hari Bol.
in
Yeah,
short,
Prabhu.
however, there are many other points, like it uproots all the three modes. So one can transcend all these three modes of material nature, which itself is I mean, which itself is not possible without any mercy from Krishna. So this is a very, very extremely powerful scripture, I'll say.
Hari Bol, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Very nice, Prabhu. So
Hari Bol.
yeah, you have covered all the key points. And in his maturity, something as Prabhu said, will come upon that pastime in the coming chapters. And in this Puran itself, it is said that what is the need for other scripture? So when I mean, it is interesting that Vyasdev himself has written other scriptures, but then at the end he is saying that what is the need for other scriptures when you read this one scripture? So which actually shows kind of gives us that hint that he was actually in that maturity state. So usually happens, right? So when we are trying to write something, some, let's say, some kind of research we are doing, and then we finally, when we get to know everything, as we are gradually unearthing few things, and then finally when we understand the complete thing which we are researching on, then we write the final thesis. Then we say that, then we can say that, if you want to read something, just read this. It will capture the essence of everything. I mean, others all are in this essence, because this is like a conclusion summary of everything else. So this is like that. So Vyasdev, who himself has written all the 18 Puranas and 108 Upanishad, many more, so 4 Vedas and all, he himself is saying, when you read this, there is no need to read anything else. So we can understand how important this Srimad Bhagavatam is. This shows the position of Srimad Bhagavatam with respect to any other scripture, may it be Vedas or Puranas or anything else. Jay, thank you, Prabhu. So yeah, moving ahead. Pooja, would you like to take up this slide?
Yes. This is again 1.1. These
This
are
is
purpose.
first canto, first chapter.
Sorry.
We are just reading first chapter today. And here in bracket, if you see, these are the verse number. Here 3, 4, 5. These are the verses.
Okay. Just a minute. Can you just zoom?
I'm already in Zoom.
For you?
No, that won't be possible.
Okay.
You are
try.
unable to read it?
Yeah, little difficult. I'll try. O expert and thoughtful man, released by Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tastier, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Once in a holy place once in the holy place of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by sage Shaunaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. His devotees. Sorry. One day, after finishing their morning duties by burning a sacrificial fire and offering a seat of esteem to Srila Suta Goswami, the great sages made inquiries with great respect about the following matter.
Okay, we'll take a pause.
The great sages said, this,
we will take a pause here, Pooja. Thanks. Thank you. I can see that you are having some trouble reading it. Okay, no worries. So the third verse was also the part of the first section, if you recollect, and it again gives a prelude to what Srimad Bhagavatam is. And it is very nicely said that when, as we may know, that the fruit which has been kind of plucked or tasted by the parrot, that fruit becomes more tastier. It is said because parrot had tasted it, so this fruit has to be tasty. That is what usually people say. So here Sukha, as we know, parrot, it also means parrot. So Sukadev Goswami has tasted this particular fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, and hence we can understand that it is really very relishable fruit, and with the touch of his lips, it has become even more tasteful, so much that even the audience included his own spiritual master and his spiritual master, that is Narad Muni and Vyasdev. And then in the scene which as we discussed, Naimisharanya, it is mentioned over there, and then Suta Goswami, he came over there, and then inquiries were being made. So Mamta Mataji, can you take the next para?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Ji.
We are unable to hear you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mamta Mataji. कमल प्रभु, आपको आ रही है क्या आवाज?
No, Prabhu, I cannot
अच्छा,
hear.
अच्छा, okay. I think मेरा issue है. Mamta Mataji, there is some issue. It seems we are unable to hear you. No worries, we'll come back to you, Mataji. Richa, can you take the verses 6, 7, and 8, which is basically the qualifications of Suta Goswami?
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The sages said,
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible, Prabhu?
Yeah, now
I
you're
think I
audible.
got disconnected.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay.
Now am I audible? Okay.
Mataji, 6,
Okay.
7, and 8. Can you please take 6, 7, and 8?
Yeah, I was at guidance and have also explained them. Yeah. So being the eldest learned
Where are you, Mataji?
Vedantis.
We actually lost you. So can you start from the sages said?
Hare Krishna. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah, Mataji. Can you start from the sages said, the bold one?
Yeah, but I already read.
Oh, we missed that, Mataji. We did not hear anything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah, we could not hear anything, Mataji. So if you can take these 3 verses from the start, Mataji, 6, 7, and 8. You're on mute, Mataji. Yeah.
The sages said, respected Suta Goswami, you are completely free from all vice. You are well versed in all the scriptures famous for religious life and in the Puranas and the histories as well. For you have gone through them under proper guidance and have also explained them. Being the eldest learned Vedantis, O Suta Goswami, you are acquainted with the knowledge of Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of Godhead. And you also know the sages who are fully versed in all kinds of physical and metaphysical knowledge. And because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them.
Haribol.
Please,
We'll take a
therefore,
pause here, Mataji. So
okay.
here we are talking about the qualities. So Mataji, would you like to pick up those qualities of Suta Goswami? Who is our speaker? Suta Goswami. What are his qualities, Mataji? Key qualities in these 3 verses.
Because Prabhu, he learned from the proper guidance.
Yes, proper guidance.
Yeah, proper guidance. So, like our Prabhupada says, no, that it should be the person should be having uh, the parampara. He should be qualified enough. So similarly, it has been given here that he has gone through with all under the proper guidance. Hmm? Yeah, Prabhu. Anything else?
Anything else anyone wants to add? The
And
first thing is free from all the
Vyasadeva,
vice.
yeah, Vyasadeva, about Vyasadeva also it has mentioned that Vyasadeva itself is a incarnation of Godhead.
Yeah. No, we are talking about qualities of Sutta Goswami. So one quality is he is free from all the vice. So uh, if the person is pure, then we can understand or listen from him the knowledge which actually purifies, the knowledge of the pure knowledge we can understand only from or hear only from a pure person. So Sutta Goswami actually checks that particular thing. He is free from all the vice. That is what we have to understood. And as Mataji said, he is very well versed with all the scriptures. He is famous for his religious life and Puranas, histories, and you have gone through them under guidance. So he's basically following his acharya. He's actually following what is explained in them. And also Mataji said about Vyasdev, he has learned this knowledge from Vyasdev. So that which means Vyasdev himself is the supreme incarnation of supreme personal Godhead. So he has taken this knowledge directly from the Lord himself. And other thing is, other sages who are fully versed in all the guys. So it is not that he just learned from his guru and that's all. Usually we improve our knowledge or we get a deep understanding of topic when we discuss about it, and that's why discussion is very important. Even in Bhakti when we say we have to discuss, so that questions we have to share some points. When we discuss, our knowledge about a particular topic, it expands. So here as well, he knows all the other sages in the sense, basically he knows them and he has been discussing that subject matter with him, all kind of physical, metaphysical knowledge. Basically metaphysical means subtle knowledge, and you are submissive your spiritual master. So this is this is important. So because he was submitted to spiritual master, he was endowed the favors by this is called Guru Kripa. So there are in this there is considered to be a class wherein class of devotees who neither do sadhana, who are neither nitya sadhakas, but because they get kripa, they basically reach to that stage. So though these devotees are rare, but yes, these devotees are still aware. So here Sutta Goswami, it is mentioned, the Naimisharanya rishis, Sanak Rishi, what does he say? He says that you have been endowed with all the favors as upon a gentle disciple. So you have got all the mercy of your guru, and hence, because you have learned from him scientifically, not just blindly. Scientifically means we submissively answer to understand the subject matter. We submissively ask the questions, right questions. We don't challenge them. It is the purpose of our questions is only to understand it further, rather to challenge and prove we are right. So that is why it is said submissive to your spiritual master and scientifically explained. So you are asked questions, you understood it and realized it, and then you are telling us. That is this is what called scientifically learned, and hence you, and these are your qualification, and hence we think that we should hear from you. This is what 6 to 8 verses say about the qualification of Sutta Goswami. Any questions? Anyone wants to add something? So discussion is very important. Please remember that. So if you have any questions, any comments, please do
Yeah,
share.
Prabhu. So at last, yeah, submissively listening, as sages are saying that submissively, you know everything scientifically. What scientifically is mean to say, Prabhu, here?
Scientifically means realize. You have realized it. You have studied it. You have
You have no
scrutinizingly studied it. It is not that
the all logics behind.
yeah, you can say logic, or this subtle science is also beyond logic. So it is your realization as well. So you have understood, you have asked questions to your guru, and you have understood it from your guru. You have studied, not just heard. You have studied the scriptures under your guru and other sages. So that is what scientifically.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mataji? Very good.
Yeah. So should I go ahead with 8 verse?
Yeah, Mataji, you can continue. Verse number 9,
Um,
please. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think 8, no, Prabhu.
8
Please,
was for the
therefore,
previous
being
one. 8 was for the previous one.
okay. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali,
No,
men
sorry,
have
you have to okay. So the verse and in the bracket at the end of that verse, the verse number is mentioned. So where you see 8, so eighth verse has already been read. So you have to read from please therefore, which is the 9th verse.
yeah, please, therefore, yeah, that's what. Okay, Prabhu. So please, therefore, being blessed with many years, explain to us in an easily understandable way what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. Men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. There are many varieties of scriptures, and in all of them, there are many prescribed duties, which can be learned only after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, O sage, please select the essence of all these scriptures and explain it for the good of all living beings, that by such instruction their hearts may be fully satisfied. All blessings upon you, O Sutta Goswami. You know for what purpose the personality of Godhead appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva.
You
Hare
want to say
Krishna.
something, Mataji, from these verses from 8 to 12? Anything that
Yeah, Prabhu,
key?
they are further glorifying him, and also they have talk about the general people of Kali, that in this Kali Yuga the person is having the symptoms of like all we have currently: lazy, misguided, unlucky, and disturbed always. We are disturbed by the many scriptures. We don't know what to read, what not to read. So, and all of the scriptures have many prescribed duties. So rather being and rather being get confused between all of them, and finding the difficulty and finding the essence, you please help us to take us to the real essence, and please try to taste us the nectar which is given by the Lord himself, the Godhead, who has appeared himself from the womb of Devaki. And yeah, these are the prayers which they are putting forward to Suta Goswami Prabhu.
Haribol, thank you, Mataji. So just to add on to what Mataji said, this qualities, if you see, they have called out the qualities: manda sumanda mata. They are lazy, quarrelsome, misguided, able, always disturbed. So if you see in our day-to-day life, we are always disturbed. There is always some anxiety that keeps going on the back of our mind. Anxiety of our probably children, of our parents back home, of a job, and many other things. There is always some anxiety that keeps going on. So with such state of health, mental health, I mean, no one can actually go through scriptures. So what do they say? Please select the essence of all these scriptures. So what all scriptures we have, the Vedas, give us the essence in the sense, what is the conclusion, what is that we are supposed to understand from the scriptures. We don't want the technicalities of this scripture. What is this scripture telling? We want to know what is ultimately scripture wants us to do. And this is what Bhagavatam is. It is basically the essence of all the scriptures. That's why it is also called as Vedanta Sutra as well. Vedanta means the end of knowledge. So this is the conclusion of all the Vedas. So these are the questions that are being asked. So one of this. So we will summarize these questions at the end. So thank you, Mataji. Haribol. Rohit, can you take up the first para? So now we will just see different questions that are being posed, which can be actually all put under 6 questions that will see at the end.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Rohit. Yeah. If you are unable to read Rohit, that's fine. You take care of Darsh. Okay. Will you be able to read Rohit, or you take care of Darsh? We will come back. You can take the next one maybe. Kamal Prabhu, would you like to take up this?
Prabhu, I would like to skip Abhi just for 5 minutes.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, Rohit, you unmuted. You want to read? Okay. We are unable to. Are you saying something, Rohit? We are unable to hear you. Okay. Pooja, can you take up the first para?
Yes. Yes. Just a minute. Sutta Goswami, O Sutta Goswami, we are eager to learn about the personality of God and his incarnation. Please explain to us those imparted by previous masters, acharyas, for one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. Living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconsciously chanting the holy name of the Lord, which is fueled by pure personality. O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the water of Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. Who is there desiring the deliverance from the vices of age of coral, who is not willing to hear the virtuous glories of Lord? His transcendental acts as are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventure he performs in his various incarnations.
You want to summarize the first para? Key or probably pick up some key
No.
points which you like.
Are you
Sorry?
I cannot hear you.
No, can you summarize or can you pick up some key points from this para which you read?
Okay, I'm not able to hear what you're saying.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Are you able to hear me?
How about others?
Sure. Kamal Prabhu, Mamta Mataji, are you able to hear me?
Am I audible?
You are audible.
Yeah, yeah, Santosh Prabhu, I can hear.
Prabhu, we can
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can hear you very well. And Puja Mataji also, we can hear you.
Maybe problem with me.
Okay. I think you got some call probably because of that. You can just disconnect audio and reconnect audio. That may probably help.
I'll try to disconnect.
Okay. So basically, the sages are further asking about the different incarnations of the Lord, and those people who are entangled in this life and death, how they can be freed immediately by just chanting the name of Krishna. So these are all mentioned by the sages over here. So just by chanting the holy name of Krishna, you can be freed immediately from the continuous loop of life and death which we are suffering. And there is one interesting verse over here which is shared that those sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them. So they are compared with the these devotees, pure devotees of the Lord are compared with the water of the Ganga. So Ganga water is basically, it can sanctify only when after prolonged. So you have to take it deep inside. But when we come in contact with a pure devotee of the Lord, just by some discussions with him, we get completely purified. And we have seen this pastime of Valmiki. So the way he was as a hunter, I mean, he couldn't even utter the name Rama. So we are at least fortunate we can say Ram, but he could not even utter the name Ram. He was so sinful. And just because he got that mercy, he came in contact with a devotee, Narad Muni. He was given that mercy, and ultimately it is what we know as Valmiki, sage Valmiki. So devotees of the Lord are even more powerful in terms of purifying our hearts. So hence we say sadhu sangha is very, very important. Pooja, what is that verse for sadhu sangha? Sadhu sangha, sadhu sangha.
सर्व शास्त्र का है नव मात्र
Matra
साधु
sadhu
संग
sangha.
सर्व सिद्धि होए.
So I mean, what, even if you read all the shastras and like this, the way it is mentioned, if you take deep in water, but that would don't give you the benefit as just lava matra sadhu. Lava matra means only for a little moment. If you get the association of a devotee, that will actually give you complete benefits. So that is what mentioned over here. So different pastimes, different incarnations. Jay. Richa or Rohit, anyone would like to take the second para?
Hare Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Richa, yes. Is Darsh okay?
Yeah, now he's sleeping.
Okay.
Because generally, when he both have to like take him for a long time, then only he will sleep.
Oh, okay, Hari Bol.
Oh, Sutta sorry. Oh, wise Sutta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations, such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by his internal powers. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balaram, played like a human being, and so must he perform many superhuman acts. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in the holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of Godhead and in this way perform sacrifice. We think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence, just so that we may accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the qualities of human being. Since Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter.
Haribol. Anything key points, Richa, you would like to share?
So here everybody is scared of the Kali, that since the Lord has also gone to his abode, and now who is going to um, how everyone is going to cross this ocean of difficulties of Kali. So that's why they are assembled here for person who can tell us the religious principles and how they can um,
Cross over this ocean.
cross over this ocean.
Haribol, Haribol. Nice. This was an interesting point, Richa. When you said they are all scared of Kali. Unfortunately, we aren't scared of Kali, and hence we don't see a requirement to get off this age of Kali or get out of the cycle life and death. Like probably we have seen COVID. We are all scared of COVID. Some may probably be very much scared. Some may be okay, but still they have that fear in their heart, right? But if you may see the kids who have born recently, like Darsh or whoever who are born during this time of COVID, for them, since they are born in this COVID stage, for them it would look very normal, because they are born up with seeing that kind of conditions around. So similarly, these sages, they were in this pure state. So now they are seeing a complete degradation of Kali coming into picture, and seeing a transformation, a degradation in the consciousness of peoples, and hence they are scared. But since we have been brought up with this degraded consciousness in this degraded uh, culture, so probably we are not yet scared. So this is something that we should understand, that there was something which was very purer to this, and there is something which is pure to this, what we are. So we have to basically try to cross over or transcend this particular degraded consciousness, if I may say. Jay, thank you, Richa. So these are the different questions that were being put by the sages. So what are these questions? Let us summarize these questions. So 6 questions that were being put. This is something that probably we can try to memorize. What is the ultimate benefit for mankind? This was the first question that was being asked. Second was, what is the essence? So they are not asking any particular pinpointed question. It is like, what is that for all the mankind? What is the ultimate benefit? Not just beneficial, ultimate. Just tell us what is that. And second is, what is the essence of all the scriptures? Of all the, we stressed upon that point earlier, right? Third is, for what reason did Lord take his birth from Devki? So they want to know reason why Lord took the birth from Devki. Then next, describe the wonderful deeds of the Lord when he assumed the form of Brahma, Rudra, etc. for the purpose of creating, maintaining, and destroying the universe. So they are basically talking about the creation of universe, maintenance, and destruction that we'll read upon. And fully describe the activities of the Lord Hari's incarnation within this universe. So different incarnations that Lord has taken. Please give us all the description of the activities. And last is, after Krishna, because still Krishna was there, religion was here. There was no irreligious practices being followed. I mean, obviously there would be some, but we can safely ignore those. But when Krishna retired to his abode, he went back to his abode. Whereas then religion taken shelter, whereas earlier it was, he had the protection of Krishna. And if you know the pastime, it was like Mother Earth who took the form of a cow, went to Brahma, and they went to Krishna because she said she was burdened by the atheist, by the Rakshasas, Asuras. So when hence Krishna came down for the particular reason, so that religion can take shelter of his lotus feet. But since he has left back to his abode, where has religion taken the shelter? These are the different questions that are being asked by the sages. These 6 questions primarily, if we try to kind of segregate, these are the 6 questions that are being asked. And the complete 18,000 verse Srimad Bhagavatam is the response to these 6 questions. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have completed the first chapter. Anyone before we move to next slide, anyone wants to read this 6 questions once again? These are kind of little. These are something very important which we can memorize. Yeah, Mamta Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yeah,
Hare
these
Krishna.
6 questions are very important, Prabhu,
Yeah, Mataji.
as we always come across. Yeah, so 6 questions by the sages. One is, what is the ultimate benefit of for mankind? Second, what is the essence of all scriptures? Third, for what reason did the Lord take his birth from Devaki? Fourth, describe the wonderful deeds of the Lord when he assumed the form of Brahma, Rudra, etc., for the purpose of creating, maintaining, and destroying the universe. Fifth, fully describe the activities of Lord Hari's incarnations within this universe. And sixth, last, where has religion taken shelter after Krishna has retired to his own abode?
Hari Bol. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu,
Yeah, Mataji.
third question,
Mhm.
can I just ask one thing?
Yeah, Mataji.
For what reason did the Lord take his birth from Devaki? The question is directed to us that why only Devaki he had taken birth, or why he has taken birth. The
Why Lord
question is
has?
like
Why Lord has
why,
taken birth?
yeah, why Lord has taken birth is a vast question, and why he has taken birth from Devaki. So that is another thing, because Devaki, why only Devaki?
Yes, Mataji. And that question is also being answered. Anyway, both the questions are being answered. Why Lord descended and why only Devaki? Those both the
Okay,
questions are being answered there.
okay, okay.
Very good, very good.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So next time when we meet again for our discussion, we will start with these 6 questions, and we will try to memorize this during the week. And next week we will try to let's see how much we can recollect. So we can all kind of, we'll keep it open. So anyone recollects, we can just try to make a note of those points. So these are 6 questions. Just try to memorize those questions. Hari Bol. So now we will end for today's. We'll do the prayers. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्य अधि पाश्चात देशतारिणे नमो वहावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतीश नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगदिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Prasadam prayers. Anyone wants to take a prasadam prayers? Richa? Oh,
Yeah, Prabhu,
yeah, Mataji.
just before leaving, I sent you a message just now. Just
Okay.
before leaving, I'm reciting the prayer.
Okay.
Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Svalpa Punyam Vatam Rajan Vishwate Naiva Jaite Sharira Vidya Jai Jojindriyaye Tahi Kal Jive Fale Vishay Sagore Tare Madhe Jivati Lobho Mae Subarmati ताके जाते कठिन ताके जेठा कठिन संसारे कृष्णा बोरोदय मोय गोरी बारे जीवा जाए स्व प्रसाद अन्न दिलो भाई से अन्नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेम दाको चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Prabhu ji's Mataji, I got to leave.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kamal Prabhu, would you like to take up Narsimha Aarti? Are you available now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
बोलो नरसिंहदेव की जय. नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाददायिने हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वक्षः शिलातन खालहि इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बाहे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहमधिशरणं प्रपद्ये तव कर कमल वरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रीनाम दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुव्रीणाम केशवधृता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय जय नरसिंह देव जय भक्त प्रहलाद भक्त प्रहलाद जय जय भक्त प्रहलाद हरे कृष्णा
हरि बोल। भक्ति विघ्न विनाशायक नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय जय। थैंक यू प्रभु। So we will conclude for the day, and we'll stop the recording.